Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Top of the Morning, sponsored by Finn's commute to work and the desire to do things in the morning more often than I do things at 2 a.m. at night. Anyways, a lot of information to cover. Season is officially kicked off, and Georgia already has four-star instant recruits. So if you thought it was going to be like last year where Georgia's a little not involved in the process and you Florida, Georgia, Bama guys get more recruits than you deserve, that's gone. So Georgia dominating. Nobody's been posted to commits channel yet, so just a stark reminder that exists, and feel free to post your pictures of your commits there. All right, week 0 action. Auburn on the road versus Tennessee. Jackson Arnold goes absolutely berserk. 80% completion percentage, 300 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. A clinic of a day by the Auburn passing game, and an early Heisman favorite is Arnold. So Danny with the win there over Cam. Cam a little busy, has a 2-week-old child, so we'll give him a pass there. But thought the Rocky Top home game would matter, and Auburn just did not care. Wisconsin with a solid win against Arkansas, just kind of a consistent performance all around. No 100-yard rusher, no crazy pass game, just good defense and consistent offense. And Wisconsin starts the season 1-0. Warren, UNC, they took on Boise, the old blue turf, and Otto with his first game. And I'm going to be honest, this looked like maybe the first, I wouldn't say big upset, because these are the 2 bottom overall teams in the game, or in the league. But this game was sitting at around 16-7 for quite a bit. UNC starting a freshman quarterback, choosing to forego Gio Lopez as the starter due to, I don't know if it's left-handed or normal dev, but the other freshman gets the nod, and you could feel it. You could feel a freshman on the road, but fourth quarter came around, and UNC was able to score 14 points, and they were able to take home the win there. I would say the biggest performance of week 0 came from the Penn State quarterback, Drew Aller. 85% completion percentage, 430 yards, and 4 touchdowns. They beat Texas Tech 45-7. Texas Tech did have a home game in his debut in the league, but the number 2 team in the nation was just a little bit too much too early. So don't count out Texas Tech yet as a guy who can play and hang in this league. It's tough to just step in against a very good Penn State team and a user like Austin. So and if I'm not mistaken here, I have my stat written down, but there's 0 100-yard rushers of all of the week 0 games. So we've talked a little bit, and you've seen it in chat, talking about run blocking being maybe not where it's supposed to be, or maybe not ideal, or maybe, maybe everybody's just so used to their college football 25 teams that, now that they're reset back to maybe a non-fully developed team, things aren't running. Who knows? But either way, run game doesn't seem to be the preferred method of scoring. So let's move on to our week 1 games. Here's a big ranked matchup, and kind of a powerhouse matchup between these 2 users. Oregon is able to edge out Texas A&M. Apparently there was a little botch snap, maybe on a jet sweep type thing from the Aggies, and it kind of led to mayhem there. But Oregon was able to edge out that win, so solid start for them, solid start for the Pac-12. The Brother Bowl, Florida State versus Tennessee. Pest said that he was going on a road trip, and he delayed that road trip with his wife by about an hour just so he could play his brother. Who doesn't love a good family time right before a fun road trip in the car with your wife, and then your brother beats the snot out of you? Tennessee was able to recover from the week 0 loss to Danny, and he puts a hurting on his older brother. Actually, I don't know who the older brother is. I just assume Pest is the older brother, but he puts a hurting on his brother. And I did not expect that one, especially after Tennessee's performance in week 1. But, obviously Florida State is not, they're still kind of a recruiting powerhouse, but from a roster standpoint, they lost a lot of key pieces. Patrick Payton is gone. He's at LSU. I don't even know who the faces of FSU are. Like, Castellanos is out here, like, overthrowing the ball, throwing nasty picks. So it just wasn't pretty. I think it was like 31-13 at one point. So Tennessee is able to even out 1-1. And Florida State starts the season with a loss. But that's okay. Still early. You don't lose a cycle in week 1. So a lot to improve upon there. Pac-12 matchup. UCLA took on Utah. Did not score in the first half. UCLA is a 10-0 game. Looked like Utah at home was kind of consistently, methodically playing good defense, but UCLA found headway with some big plays on not just one, but 2 3rd-and-1s were able to convert play action passes into deep 50-plus yard touchdown throws that Nico, transfer from Tennessee, big 97 throw power, was able to find. There was a cornerback injury to Utah that put in the 4th-string cornerback, and he just was the receiver out there, 13, was just a little too much, and 14 points off that. A 70-point run made it 21-10, and Utah was just unable to get things going in that second half, unable to find consistency, unable to run the ball consistently for first downs, and on 3 separate occasions, the ball hit a receiver's hands and then hit the turf. So Utah's got some things it's got to work out in terms of passing the football. Do they need to make major changes, or does it need to be just catching the football and converting on key downs? Because 2 or 3 drives ending because of drops probably was the difference in this game in their ability to kind of keep that momentum and maybe score in response to some of the momentum that UCLA had. So, good start there for UCLA. After recovering, they lost to Nebraska week 1. Dealing a little bit with that EU connection and just dealing with a good user. Phil is a good user. I said week 0 is when they played. And he's back in the league. He was OU last year, made a college football playoff. Now he's back as Nebraska. So Dylan Raiola throwing in the touchdown column this time around. So UCLA trying to figure out what they were going to do after week 0. They turn around and get a conference win, open up their conference play 1-0 with a win over Utah. So solid start for them. And then here was a big matchup. Came down to the wire. Arizona State and Georgia. Georgia heads out west. They take on P-Town. And we know what a Season 1 P-Town with ASU can do. But this game was an absolute battle, just back and forth, back and forth. I think it really came down to just a couple mental errors. I think I read in chat that Travi got in on like a 2-point conversion, but then accepted a penalty and then maybe didn't get on the second one. So make sure you take your time to accept your penalties and go from there. And then one of the last matchups, I can't remember if it was week 0 or week 1. It might have been the USC SMU, a battle between the BL boys. I believe this was a week 0 game. Sorry, jumping back and forth here. SMU and USC, it was close. I mean, this was a 14-14 game for quite a while. And then the quarterback for SMU, number 7, can't remember his name off the dome, but he took off left, broke a tackle, and then that was all she wrote. Absolutely dusted the USC Trojans down the left sideline, scored a touchdown. Then they followed it up quickly with another one. Maybe it was off a turnover. And that led that to be 28-14. So I don't know where that final score ended, but the Trojans just unable to recover. So the score's a little bit less than I thought it was going to be from all of our preseason labbing. You know, a 21-10 game in the Pac-12. That, 28-16. I think it was a 21-16 game for UNC versus Boise. So everybody's still learning. Everybody's still trying to figure out the playbooks and what works for their team and kind of settling in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of these week 1 games. And then we will see you probably somewhere between Sunday morning or Monday morning here at the Top of the Morning podcast.